Hey, this is Steve Pederson, and this video actually goes out to all of you, but especially to Eric Phillips, because I just saw your video and your explanation of measure 44 and 45, which I scrolled through every time, and I was like, I noticed it, I just didn't stop and like read through it. But I noticed that I had the same problem with measure 45 in the first etude here. Here's what I did just to get through it, because I found I just couldn't get, like, I could play that, but I just couldn't, like, I can play it. I can play it, but I can't get to it quick enough, like in time. So what I found I had to do was go all the way back to measure 41. And so you end up at measure 40 with this, with your third finger on B flat. And then what I did was just slide that third finger down to A, and then the C with the second finger. Because what that does is that, well, I guess this is another trouble spot. This because what they have written in is using your first finger on C, and I kind of look at these as chords. So you go to the next one, and you have to get your first finger on C over to G sharp, which of course is doable, but it flows a little bit better if you've got your third finger on A, second finger on C, and then your first finger is ready to go right there on G sharp, and your fourth finger is ready to go to D as well. It's just kind of like, you know, that natural configuration. Might even be a little interesting Assad exercise right there. Anyhow, so after that, that chord, then the next chord with the G, C, E, I'm playing the C with the second finger, so then I can play the next chord. I can leave that second finger there, then I can play the next chord, the E with the third finger, and then that whole configuration I can just slide up 2 frets, which that works great. However, then it leaves you, what do you do with the C that comes in next? And you just have to play it here with your fourth finger on the third string. Now what that does, another thing that I kind of noticed was a little funky with this was with the right hand fingering, especially at that part. The way it's written originally, because this is something I'm really focusing on right now in my playing, is my right hand, what my right hand is doing. So with this new way that I configured it, your M finger plays the C on the third string, leaving your A finger ready and in perfect position to grab that open B string. Now then you can play the ba-dum. Now you guys have made this work, and of course Sergio made this work, but I really like the sound of the F and the D ringing out together. So that whole sweep right there is just A, M, I, P, and you can get all 4 notes in it. So and then get a nice cello sounding vibrato on there before you go into the next section. Now, interestingly, another thing that I noticed about his fingering in measure 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, there's nothing really written in, but what I watched him do, I was like, that's kind of weird. I mean, obviously, you kind of got to trust him because he's the maestro and he wrote it and all of that. But what I found worked best for me was to, again, slide the third finger to the A, and then, so, let's see, anyhow, that was one thing. The other fingering that I found really kind of strange was, after going from the, this is measure 58, then they've got the next measure to play the 3 on G, and then to do, so you've got, if you do that, they've got your 2 finger on E, and then right away to get your second finger, like that really didn't make any sense to me when you've got 4, 3, 1. So you're using those 3 fingers, your second finger is totally free and it's right there. So just put it down on the G and then try without making too much of a squeaky noise. Just slide the whole thing down a half step. Pull your third finger in for the A. So, yeah, interesting fingering configurations with this one, which was probably the most difficult part of this whole section of that piece. Wow, this is a long video. If you stuck around to watch it all, good for you.